So now you know that conduction band and valence band. In a conduction band you have different energy levels. Similarly in a valence band also there are n number of energy levels. So at T is equal to 0 degree Kelvin, what happens is this valence band, all the electrons are present in the valence band. So the valence band is completely filled, whereas the conduction band is completely empty. That is, there are no electrons present in the conduction band. There are only electrons present in the valence band. This is at T is equal to 0 degree Kelvin. At ordinary temperature, due to thermal excitation are nothing but at ordinary temperature, let me say it as room temperature, that is 27 degrees centigrade, it will be around 300 Kelvin. Due to thermal excitation or the energy kBT, due to this thermal excitation, what happens, the electrons which are present in this lower energy level are going to occupy the lower level of the conduction band. In this way they are moving, and again they are coming back to the vacant places where they have left. So in this way excitation and de-excitation process continuously takes place in a semiconductor at ordinary temperature. That is what continuously takes place, and the electrons which are involving in this, that is which are moving from here valence band to conduction band and conduction band to valence band, are now called as conduction electrons. So based on this I can say that the electrons which are moving from valence band to conduction band and conduction band to valence band are neither belonging here completely nor they are belonging completely here. So based on this we can say that the conduction electrons are distributed between this energy gap, are distributed between the energy levels bottom of the conduction band and top of the valence band, that is in between this energy gap. So due to this what I can say, the average energy of the conduction electron is almost equal to half of Eg. So I can say that the Fermi energy or the average energy of the conduction electron lies somewhere here, which is equal to Eg by 2, and hence Fermi level lies in the midpoint of the forbidden gap for an intrinsic semiconductor. Now we will see what is the relation between Fermi energy and energy gap, that is EF and Eg for an intrinsic semiconductor. In order to obtain this relation, you should first know what is the expression for the concentration of electrons as well as the expression for concentration of holes. Why? Because in an intrinsic semiconductor the concentration of electrons will be equal to the concentration of holes. So if you know those two expressions, you can obtain the relation between the Fermi energy and energy gap. So this is nothing but the same thing what I had explained earlier, where the Fermi level lies in a semiconductor. So I said that the Fermi level lies correct at the mid gap of the forbidden gap, that is at the center of the energy gap, that is Eg by 2, EF is equal to Eg by 2. That expression you are going to obtain here, that was for intrinsic semiconductor. So now we know the expression for concentration of electrons and concentration of holes. So for an intrinsic semiconductor, the number of holes per unit volume in valence band, that is the concentration of holes, is equal to the concentration of electrons in the conduction band, that is Ne is equal to NH. Now what is Ne and what is NH, I am going to substitute here. So earlier I have set the expression for Ne as 4 root 2 divided by h cube pi m star E kBT exponential EF minus Eg by kBT. This is for Ne, and for NH the same expression only with exponential minus EF by kBT. Okay, these two expressions I write here. You can see it is getting cancelled. The common factors here on either sides of the equal to sign are getting cancelled, and now I am left out with m star E, that is the effective mass of electron to the power of 3 by 2 exponential EF minus Eg by kBT, and here m star H power 3 by 2 exponential minus EF by kBT. The exponential term I am going to take here on the left hand side, and the m star, that is effective mass of electron as well as holes, I am keeping it on the right hand side. In this way I get the expression. So now this exponential here, this exponential when I take it to the numerator, it will become plus EF by kBT. So I have written exponential EF minus Eg by kBT from this numerator, and this exponential as plus EF by kBT. This is equal to m star H by m star E power 3 by 2. Now here you can see exponential EF plus EF will become 2EF minus Eg. At the denominator you have kBT. This is equal to m star H by m star E. Now this I want to remove the exponential term which is present here. So I take natural log on both sides. So if I take natural log on both sides, I am left out with 2EF minus EG by KBT, 3 by 2 ln m star E by m star H. This 3 by 2 ln m star H by m star E. Later, further by solving I get 2EF minus EG is equal to 3 by 2 KBT ln of this. 2EF is equal to 3 by 2 KBT ln m star H by m star E plus EG. This EG I am bringing it to the right hand side. So EF is equal to 3 by 2 it will become 3 by 4 now because of this 2 into KBT ln m star H by m star E plus EG by 2. Now under practical consideration, so the effective mass of electron is considered to be effective mass of hole. So this is practically considered. So what I write, m star E and m star H are equal. So this will become ln 1. So ln 1 I am writing here plus EG by 2. But ln 1 is equal to 0. So this entire term will become 0. So EF is equal to E by EG by 2. I am left out. So this is nothing but the Fermi level in an intrinsic semiconductor is equal to EG by 2. That is half of the forbidden gap, or you can say lies at the mid gap of the band gap for an intrinsic semiconductor.